Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a burrito bowl, and now to taste test Amy here. She's at work, so she obviously couldn't be through most of the filming. So Amy, let's open her up. Let's take a look. What do we have?
Ooh.
So we've got our corn rice mix, some cilantro on there, our black beans, and our chicken. What do we have in there, Amy?
Sauce.
That is our homemade chipotle sauce. So let's pour it over. Shouldn't need to be heated, I don't think.
No. All right.
Let's mix her all up here. Let's give her a bite. Before she does and we see how much she squeals, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. And let's see what Amy thinks here. Let's see if this is hot enough for her. How is it?
Really good.
Now, what do you rather have, Chipotle or mine?
Yours.
It's much healthier. It's much easier to make. Believe it or not, it's super easy. It's not that much effort, just a lot of ingredients to do. So if you're doing it as a burrito bowl, it does take a while because, well, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Take your fork and just taste the sauce itself. Is it hot? How hot?
Very.
Very.
But it's good.
Like scale 1 to 10 hot.
Probably 8.
Probably 8?
Yeah.
Alex, what would you call it?
I probably only found it like maybe 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Amy's getting weird. She's Dutch, so you kind of have to expect that. But anyways, let's hit the share, subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. We'll show you the rest in a few minutes. And thanks a lot. Stay tuned.
Bye.
Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. I'm here with Chef Amy.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, and it actually is morning. Today we're going to be doing a quick video on, well, it's not really going to be quick. This is actually pretty intense. But this is going to be a burrito bowl. This is inspired from our Mexican friends. They're really awesome people. They're actually from Mexico and Colombia. They came up to Ontario. They come out to do really super dangerous jobs that nobody else will touch. And I became really good friends with them. The Colombian actually is immigrating to Halifax right here with us as a refugee, and I can only imagine what that's really about. We can use our imaginations. His English is not the greatest, so it's not that easy. But they're all super, really awesome guys. So what I have is some boneless chicken breast. Yes, it's not the best cut in the world because the fat equals flavor, right? However, where this is going to be a really big bowl, we don't need to go all out with all that because it's just a little bit much. So I'm going to take 2 spoonfuls of minced garlic, and I'm going to try to make this as much legitimate Mexican as I can. This isn't going to be a chipotle bowl. No, I'm going to make this as close to legit as I can. So we're going to put a little bit of liquid smoke since we're in an apartment. We don't have a barbecue and we can't really do legit smoke.
Tiny bit.
And that's all you need for a liquid smoke. Just a tiny bit. Not like Amy in her mouth pulls of chocolate ice cream. Right?
Right.
We're going to put some black pepper. If you have the ground stuff, it's even better. But for some odd reason, we're having issues keeping up with it. So If you have lime, you can do that, but we have issues with this too. One of my good friends over in Europe stating he's having issues finding legitimate Mexican peppers. Well, we're in Canada, we're not that far away, we do too. But lime should be something that's a little bit easier to get, but in reality, we just can't get it as well as you think we can. Just to give it a little bit of sweetness, we're going to put some honey in. Then we're going to put some paprika. Because it is Mexican, we want to give it a little bit of spice. We don't need to make it nuclear. Now, taro, if you have other spice that you want to use, like serranos, if you can find those, you can grind them, grate them, whatever, get them all in there. That will make it really, really hot. But the whole idea is we're going to mix this up really, really good so that this is marinating. Amy's going to find the cover for this, and this is going to sit in the fridge, and we can do this for as little as 2 hours to 24 hours. I'm going to use a little bit of onion powder, more came out than I wanted. I had to tell Amy this is ground cumin. She calls it ground cumin. We know it's not her mind, guys.
It's cumin.
So everything's going to be done in steps. It's a burrito bowl, so believe me, it's going to take some time to actually make everything. So we're going to leave this sit, and I'm not doing the full 24 hours, but Chef Alex isn't going to be available until much later in the morning or even early afternoon. So this is going to have lots of time to sit. We're going to make sure this is mixed really, really well.
It's going to be super duper good.
Now, you're going to say, Chef Paul, why aren't you using chipotle peppers in this? I could, but I'm going to make a chipotle mayo that goes as a topping that you can spread over everything. I think that's a much better solution, to be honest with you. And I don't really feel like everybody just wants the chipotle sauce all over just one item. This is going to be hot, but it's not going to be burning hot. It's going to be, but it is going to give it some flavor. And like I said, in honor of my Mexican friends, and I'll tell you, they work a really nasty job that I mean nobody else in the city will do. They walk in the morning, they smile. They walk out and they smile. They're honestly some of the nicest people that you'll ever talk to. My wife's even come out. We've shared meals together already. And they're legitimately some of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet.
They're very nice.
So in honor of you guys, I'm doing this for you guys. I wish I could share the video with all of you, but I know that you all can't speak English, so maybe you can watch and I don't know. But
Google Translate.
yeah, I use Google Translate a lot. So once you have this all mixed, you want to cover this and you want to throw this in the fridge at least 2 hours. After that, we're going to continue this later, so I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to show you a little bit later. So please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Amy, how's that look right now?
Excellent.
Can you smell that?
Mmm.
And again, when you're using liquid smoke, only a little bit. You do not need a lot, but it will give it a smoked flavor, so almost like you came out of the barbecue. So again, I hope you guys like this, follow along. If you followed my recipe, I hope it helps. Let me know. So we'll be back in a bit. Welcome back. Welcome back. So unfortunately, my dear wife informed me that this morning, and it's Saturday morning, nobody's going to be around to fix anything, but we don't have our both big burners, so this puts a hamper on things. So I'm thinking, how the heck am I going to cook chicken? Well, I'm going to use the slow cooker instead. So this is actually a really good way to do it. The only major difference is you need to put a little bit of liquid in it. Am I wrong?
No.
So I'm going to use, and I think it's over here. I was going to use my apple cider vinegar, but I don't know where it is. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil because that was the thing I was supposed to do anyways. It's a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And I might have to do without because I think I don't know where it is and I don't feel like hunting for it. Not a big deal.
Did I put it in the fridge by accident?
Probably did. Anybody need a wife? She's for sale. Joking.
Or did we run out?
No, we definitely didn't run out. I'm going to use some of Amy's wine because wine actually goes really well with chicken. Just need a little bit of glug glug, like Amy does.
No.
I'm just going to take this back out of the bowl here, and I'm just going to give this a little stir. I know I used to say marinating, but when you're putting it in a slow cooker, it doesn't really need to marinate because it's going to cook with it really well. So if you're going to use a slow cooker, it works well with that. So I'm going to put this, some more right now. I'm going to put this on high, and we're just going to let this sit for a couple hours. Already on here, so let this cook through. When it's done, we're going to put this into a bowl and put this in the fridge. Everything else is going to be cooked step by step. It's going to be great. It's going to taste amazing. Be patient. It'll work. We'll make this work. So we'll be back. Welcome back. So we finally got Chef Alex with us.
Hey guys.
And Amy's at work. So it is what it is. So we're going to do the part that I absolutely hate doing the most. That's the rice. Everything else is really quick. So I'm going to do rice a little differently than I normally would today. I normally don't do this stuff because, well, I just don't care. It's not that big a deal to me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rinse the rice. And you're going to ask what this is going to do. This basically cleans the rice.
It takes the starch off it.
Yeah, it takes the starch right out and it just makes things a whole lot better. So if you're worried about starches, and you know what, to be honest with you, we all should be, then you know what, it doesn't really hurt to do this stuff. Technically, you should do this until you start seeing clear water come out. I have a little hard time seeing if there's a difference, but, you know, somebody else might, but, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a spoon and sift through this a little bit. Now, I said that I was going to do this in a way that Mexicans, obviously I'm not Mexican, never even been there, I just have some buddies from there, so I'm going to ad-lib little things, and technique me is probably not going to be the way they're going to do it, because I've never been there, so I don't know how they do it. So I'm just going to do the best that I can to make this the way that I feel that they would. So when this is done, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this into the rice cooker. I'm not going to put the top on yet because we still need to add water. Usually what I've seen in most recipes, they actually just fry it. And
you can do that too.
You can do that. It works. If you don't have a rice cooker, then you know what? I recommend doing that because it does work. I'm not going to do that because it's middle summer, it's hot, and we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So my next step is, now we've finally got the chickens done. So have to move things around quite a bit because, well, we only have so much room. So we got the chicken here.
Yeah, it looks really good too.
And it should be really good. Should be spicy, should be flavorful. Unlike some people, and especially Mexicans, they really like their spice, and that's all fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. So, if we look at this here, it's got a lot of flavor to it. It's got a lot of color to it. We are going to make a chipotle mayo sauce. That's coming. But first, we're going to deal with the rice, and that's that part of it. So we're going to come back in a little bit, and we'll continue. Welcome back. So now we're getting ready to make our black beans. So first of things first, when you're making your beans, open the can, do not drain the liquid. You need the liquid, believe it or not. You need the liquid. So I'm going to take 2 onions, because yes, I love my onions, as you guys should know. I'm going to put this through the food processor. I would do this as well with our garlic, but I already bought minced garlic, so I don't need to do that. If you can get it cheap, it's worth getting, because honestly it takes a lot of time. So if you can get it done for you, then hey, it's the same thing, there's nothing added to it, it's not a bad product. And you could easily sit there and chop up your onions and do everything I'm doing by hand. But why?
It'll take a lot longer.
Yeah. This works fast. So I've already got some oil in my hand here. I'm just going to put this in here. I'm going to turn my oven on because it should preheat a little bit. Put on medium temperature. I'm just going to put my onion in here. I'm not getting rid of all my onions. I need this for the guacamole. So don't need to do that. This is going to be such a wonderful and amazing dish, I think.
I think so too.
Now, when we cook the garlic, we want to make sure that we're waiting just a little bit, because garlic doesn't take very long to cook. Onions shouldn't take very long either. We just want to try to get a little bit cooked down a little bit. Not fully caramelized, but kind of get into that level. Black beans do not need a whole long time. Maybe 3 minutes, just enough that they're heated all the way through. We don't need to cook them. This isn't baked beans, but this is going to be an amazing, amazing dish.
The onions are making my eyes water.
Oh yeah, these aren't even the freshest ones yet. My Mexican friends couldn't be here today, otherwise they said they didn't have to work today. They would have came over for a meal because it was homemade. None of them actually cook. Their wives do it when they're home. They have one guy that's from Colombia. He does all the cooking there. He's a pretty darn good cook too. Mind you, funny enough, like he doesn't cook anything hot. The Mexicans like their stuff hot, but he won't cook that way because that's not what they do in Colombia apparently. Are you from Colombia? Do you know anybody from Colombia? Can you tell me if I'm wrong or right on that?
I don't know anyone from Colombia.
If you, my viewers, know the answer to that, let me know. I don't know. So we're going to let this cook out a little bit. And by all means, having your onion in here, it just adds flavor. It also makes you feel better too. Onion is an amazing thing that does absolutely help you for health. So it's always worth, taking your time and actually doing it, because the more you do, the better you're going to feel. So we're going to cook this down a little bit. I'm going to grab a spoon. So I'm going to need this for the garlic in a minute. Don't need a whole lot of garlic for this. If you're going to do this by hand, I would probably use 1 clove. It's not garlic beans, it's black beans, so you don't need a lot.
Yeah. You don't want to overdo it with the garlic.
No. And yes, I'm doing this for my burrito bowl. And I like bowls better than actual wrapping it up. it's a little bit easier to cook, and I don't have to eat all at once and feel guilty, or because it will make your burrito soggy if you don't eat it like that. It takes me a little bit of time, and honestly, I kind of like this way. So, to me, that looks good enough. 1 spoonful of garlic. We're going to mix this in really good. Now you can really start to smell the garlic now, can't you?
Yeah, you can. It smells really good.
It does. Now I'm even starting to smell the onion too. Alright, so like I said, we're not going to drain our beans. We don't want to do that. These are different than baked beans. We're not adding sugar to this to make these sweeter.
And we're also not adding lard.
No, definitely not adding lard. If you eat out at the restaurants, a lot of times what you'll find, thanks Alex for bringing that up, I probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
We're not adding salt either. But a lot of times if you go to a restaurant, they add a lot of salt.
Yeah, I do.
And they add a lot of lard. And the reason for that, lard does give it a lot of flavor. It does give it a lot of flavor, and it makes it taste better. And that's true, it does. But at the same time, even though it tastes better, and yes, it does give you a lot of extra flavor, it's not healthy. It doesn't do really anything for you. It really doesn't. No matter what anybody wants to try to argue with you on that,
Yeah.
it just doesn't. There's no real benefit to. There's no real benefit. And maybe, guys, if you're going to do this, maybe 1 onion. I think the 2 might have been a little bit much here. Oh well, it shouldn't bother anything too much, but
It shouldn't matter too much.
no. But yes, like like earlier I said, I'm using chicken breast. But if you're somebody who doesn't have a dietary restriction and you really like the fat, use chicken thighs. It's probably going to cost you a little bit more money because it's going to require a lot more meat.
Yeah.
Had an issue with the can opener and it was complaining a little bit, so I had to drain the juicers. But we want the juices, we don't. So now I'm going to pour in a couple of spices. Paprika. Pepper. And then some cumin. Not cumin like Amy would say. Amy always has something rotten on her mind. Hell yeah.
She always says coming.
Yep. So we got cumin, paprika, and pepper. We don't need a whole lot more there. Some people might want to put some hot pepper. You're going to do that. Stick that right into your food processor. I'm going to stir that in really quick. Now, as you see in here, my frying pan's getting a little full. So you just want to make sure you're being a little careful, not going stir crazy and spilling over the place. Because if you do that, you're going to have quite a mess to clean up. And I know if I did that, Amy's going to get really mad. Trust me, Amy can get mad. We're going to let this sit for about 3 minutes. It's not going to take very long. So we're just going to leave it be. So, you know what, it's been a little bit, but let's do this. 2 minutes seems fair. What do you think?
I think 2 minutes is enough.
Yeah, because we've already had this enough here.
Yeah.
Now when I go to cook this, I'm probably going to drain the juices because we don't need the juices. But it's really good to cook with it. So that's why it's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook this out for the 2 minutes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put everything in containers. So when we get ready to serve it, it's going to be like a burrito bowl. I don't have the restaurant bowls that they use, unfortunately. I wish I did. But, you know, whatever. We'll have enough to do what we need,
Yeah.
right? But as you notice, the longer this sits here, the more thicker everything goes.
Yeah. It is starting to thicken up.
It is. Our next step's going to be rice once we're done this. So rice is going to go really well, but this is going to be an amazing dish, guys. I'm really excited. I don't know about you, Alex.
I am too.
Maybe Alex and I will take a bowl each down to Amy, and we'll make her watch us eat.
Yeah.
It's kind of be funny, but
That would be funny.
I wouldn't do that.
Maybe bring her a bowl.
But we'll consider it. But see how thick this is getting?
Yeah.
When we take this off the heat and let this rest for a little while, and we'll show you that before we put it away while we're probably doing the rice. You'll see that it's going to thicken right out, and it will. And this is going to taste really amazing. And if you like Mexican food, this is a staple for pretty much anything that Mexicans eat. So that's done. So I'm going to take that off the heat. We're just going to let this rest here. And turn the oven off. Turn that off, otherwise it's going to get annoying. So we'll be back when we're ready with the rice. So now we're going to go on to finish our rice, and we're actually going to do it as rice and corn mix rather than just do a side of corn like say habaneros would do. It just makes it a little bit easier, and it's not necessary to just keep on dirtying dishes to do something that's going to be the same anyways. Habaneros need to do it because, well, they got to make their stuff look nice.
I think it would taste better anyway.
I think so too.
Mixing it together.
And my argument is, it still looks nice.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a little different because guess what? It's still going to look nice, but it's going to be more like, say, if you were ordering Chinese food, right?
Yeah.
Chinese fried rice, so it have lots of veggies in this. So I'm going to start putting the rice in here, and yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do this and make it a little bit easier. And this rice has already been cooked. And we're going to make our mixture in a second. So I've got half a white onion here and a jalapeno. We're going to stick this out of here for a second, put the plate back in, because if we don't, we're going to be screwed up. Onion jalapeno, seeded in. Why? Because it has a little bit more spice to it. Why not? That should be enough, and it is. So this is going to give it a fair amount of spice to it because it's jalapeno. So if you're not somebody who likes any spice at all, leave the jalapeno out. You don't really need it. It's not necessary. Nobody wants you to burn your mouth out. So if you're not Mr. Spice or Mrs. Spice, then leave that out. Now, Tierho, this is directed to you, my friend. This is where you might want to put a serrano or two in, if you have it.
If you can, go ahead.
Go ahead, no. Go ahead.
If you can handle hotter peppers, then by all means add like Scotch bonnets or Carolina Reapers.
I wouldn't put a Scotch bonnet.
No?
No, we're trying to keep this in, mostly Mexican, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see Scotch bonnet as Mexican. It could be wrong, but I don't think it is. I kind of feel like a Reaper would probably be a little bit too much.
It probably would be actually, yeah.
I would suggest sticking with, say, a Serrano.
Okay.
Like, Serranos have a nice flavor to it. They're also Mexican, so it does keep it as a more of a Mexican dish, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want. You don't want something you really don't want something that's going to overbear it, but you don't want it too light, but you also want to try to keep things more of a Mexican flavor.
You don't want to overdo it with the spice too much.
No. You want it to be a little heat, but you want people to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I've got a bottle of crushed tomatoes. Now, you watch a lot of videos out there, and they're using crushed tomatoes in a food processor. I'm going to disagree with this really big time. I'm going to tell you why. They're not the best for you. Like, fresh tomatoes are missing a lot of nutrients in there, and it's a well-known fact that canned tomatoes is just better. Now, I'm not going to add any spice to this. I don't think it's necessary. You can, but I mean, with everything else you're putting in the bowl, I kind of feel like you're not going to notice it. Now, a lot of this you'd have to cook this for a long time, because most recipes would actually call you to physically to cook the rice in this. I'm saying if you have a food processor, it's probably better just to use the food processor.
Yeah.
It's easier, it's quicker. You don't have to go crazy on your times for cooking. It's hot. It's summertime, so I mean, reduce what you have to, and it will be so much better for you.
And even here in Nova Scotia, it's really hot. People may think that it's always cold here, but that's not true at all. It actually gets really hot here in the summer.
I'm gonna take half a lime. I'm gonna squeeze that for all it's worth. If you want to cook Mexican food, lime is something you need to have in your house. Do you absolutely need it? No, but it does taste better.
It does. It adds flavor.
It adds a lot of flavor.
You can add lime juice.
You can,
but,
absolutely.
But I would recommend getting like a fresh lime and just squeezing that, because it's a lot fresher.
It is fresher. And if you live in an area like we do, sometimes you can get a lime and that's probably all they have. Sometimes you get a lot, you get lucky. Sometimes you're not. Unfortunately, with work hours, we tend to get out after everybody else has.
Yeah.
So we don't get you just don't get the same priority that everybody else has. Now, some people are going to add salt to this, and that's perfectly fine if you want to. We're not going to. I don't think it's necessary. Now, if you're a vegan, this might actually be a really awesome recipe for you. If you want to use this as, like, say, the bottom of your burrito, put some guacamole on there. Hey, you're good. You're gold. This isn't going to take too long to cook. In fact, we're done. And you ask, why are we done? Well, the rice went through the rice cooker. And we're not going to have to use the oven for anything else. The last thing we have to do is make our chipotle sauce. It's going to be a nice little chipotle mayo. It's going to taste really good. It's going to be very flavorful. And that's pretty much it. Once we get that done, then we're ready to start plating. Then we're going to take a little walk down to Amy, make her think that we're going to make her watch us. I'm not that big of a jerk, guys. Come on. I can be one, though, if you really want me to. If I haven't said it before, I know I have, but please hit the like, share, subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. We'll be back soon. Welcome back. So we're at our almost done here. So I've got 3 cans of chipotle peppers and adobe sauce. So this is a really cool thing to have. And of course, someone smart should put the blade on before they start making a mess in their food processor. I do this all the time, guys. Okay, that looks good. I would sincerely recommend you actually buy a few things of this and make a big batch at once. You can put it in a glass jar, store it for like a couple, like maybe a month or so, if it lasts that long. Around here, I mean, like if you want to make a Mexican style pizza, you can do the same thing as I did with the chicken. And you can use that for toppings, a little bit of cheese.
That smells really good.
Oh, and it's going to taste really good too. You can use this instead of pizza sauce, and you know the rest is really up to your imagination. You can do a lot with this. We're going to put this through a food processor so we can get the peppers grounded down so we can make a sauce out of this.
It kind of smells a little bit like steak sauce.
It does. And what this actually is, believe it or not, and I'm going to grab another spoon. Thanks. Amy's just going to love the amount of dishes I have for her. I did dishes earlier. It's kind of her turn. What this is actually a dried and smoked jalapeno. Most people don't realize that.
So that's what chipotle peppers are?
Yeah, chipotle peppers are just basically nothing more than a smoked, dried up jalapeno. Now see how fine that is after putting that into a food processor?
Yeah, that did a really good job.
It did. Now again, guys, when you're dealing with hot peppers, no matter if it's just a jalapeno and you think that's really light, always keep your hands clean, and don't, start rubbing your eyes or anything until you've actually had a minute to go to the bathroom and clean that out.
Yeah, because if you do, it's gonna really hurt.
Yeah. This is not necessarily a common thing, but I like putting a little bit of lime in mine. A little bit, not a whole lot. Then we're going to put some mayo in here. Now, in that process that we just completed there, if you have garlic that's not minced, put it through the food processor too. Very important, because you do need it. Mine's already minced, so I don't need to, but just take a minute and put it through the blender, or you can chop if you want. I wouldn't, but that's about one full size spoon. And now we're going to use some, now it's mustard or mayo. Not Miracle Whip, guys. Please don't use Miracle Whip unless that's all you have. If that's all you have, then I'm not going to judge you for it, but please don't use it if you don't have to. Miracle Whip is garbage. It really is. Just don't use it. So this is sour cream. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stir this to make this into our sauce. Except for one little thing I'm going to add. Not common again, but a little bit of apple cider. I don't think Mexicans use this, but I do, and I'll tell you why. If you're diabetic, high blood cholesterol, heart issues, this is like the best thing in the world for you. It really will help you. You have another jalapeno, I asked Amy to pick up a few when she went shopping for us. She only picked up one, so we only have one. Not a big deal. Now you can start to see how that's starting to get really oh yeah.
How does it taste?
Excellent. This is really nice and fresh. This is going to taste really good. And it is hot. A lot of people use this for, like Chipotle will cook their chicken into it.
That's really good.
Yeah, I love it.
It has a bit of kick, but it's not too spicy. It's very good.
Yeah, we want a little kick, you know what I mean? Just a little.
And it tastes like real Chipotle mayo too.
Well, that actually is real Chipotle mayo. It's
Yeah.
not made from the store. That probably includes a lot of sugar.
But it tastes better than the stuff that you get in restaurants. Way better.
It's going to be a lot healthier too, right?
Yeah.
No, this is my idea of a burrito bowl because I'm not that creative that I can literally just make it look as pretty as they do. It is what it is. Don't judge me, but this will turn out good. Well, I think it did turn out good, to be honest with you. I think it will. It has.
I think it really has turned out well.
And the beans have really thickened up quite a bit.
The rice has thickened up pretty well too.
So when I serve this, I'm going to have one container of the food. Then I'm going to have a container of the chipotle sauce. And then I'm going to have another container of, in the container I'm going to put maybe another container, 3 containers that, and then some cheese. Maybe not the cheese, don't need that. We'll have that, we'll save that for us.
Yeah.
Amy doesn't need that. She'll get mad at us, but whatever. But that is our burrito bowl, burrito bowl.
I think it looks really good.
I think so too. So, until next time, let's hit that like, share, subscribe button. I hope you guys have a great day. One last thing, if you want to put a little bit of lettuce in there, you can as well. And actually, I'm probably going to put a little bit. But that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys like it. Please drop a comment. Please share this with people. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. It does help us. We really like to get some more views on here. Oh yes, and cilantro. It's a hot day. It's really been a long day, so.
I completely forgot about the cilantro.
Yeah, me too. But I'm also gonna put a little cheese in there. Maybe not. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of cilantro. Don't have to do a whole lot. Don't have to go crazy.
I think adding a little bit of cheese would be good.
You could.
You don't need to though.
I don't think you really need to either. So I'm probably going to skip that part because I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
So to my Mexican friends, I hope somebody is actually watching this. I really want to hear back from you, hear what you have to think about this. Hopefully you like it. I think this is going to go really good. So this is actually it. We're done. Thank you very much for tuning in. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, guys.